tell us, Kamala, how you feel about joining the expedition again and how you would like to work with photos and videos underwater.
I think it's very fun to join this team because it's history, and it's I think it's important history. We see that today with the war in Ukraine, so it's important so we don't forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
And to take photo and video underwater, you need a good visibility. So the sun should be there, and we don't have so much time. Every dive is about 1 hour, and they are working. But when they find something or something happen, it happens in 2-3 minutes, and you have to be there at the time at the right place. And when you dive, there is in 3 dimensions. You're not on the ground, you are in the middle. And when you breathe underwater, you come up and you go down. So it's not so easy underwater, and you don't move that fast.
So, okay, now Carl can fly jets, but he is not a scuba diver, okay? That's Camila's specialty. Good. So you're saying that as you inhale the air from your tanks and exhale, if you want a nice steady shot underwater, you have to compensate for rise a little, go down a little.
Yes, I will do that. When I breathe, I will go up and down. So when you take picture, you hold your breath. But because then you will be still.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you must make adjustments for that.
Yes.
And it's kind of like on land where you want to point your camera, click the picture, but don't go like this.
Yes.
When you're taking the picture. Yeah. Well, see, I wasn't thinking about that. So
no,
that's interesting.
This year is my hope we can make some agreements together with the divers, with the crane, with the captains, and everybody are knowing now are we going after this thing to lift it up. So everybody can be on the right place on the right time.
Camila, I want to ask you, what do you do when you're on the bottom, you're working around the Halifax parts, and all of a sudden your battery shows low, or your storage device where you're storing the video is full? What would you do to continue the recording?
Underwater, I have no chance. It's just to go up. So you have to have backups and have new battery and new card when you go in the water. It's the best way.
So you need a strong battery that's charged up, and you need empty storage device so that you can maximize that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well,
so I have buy one backup battery, and cards I have several of them, but one extra battery so I can change every dive and load on the time when I'm in the water.
Okay, now this is very good for me to know, you guys, because we must talk to Gustav, the skipper of the River Thames, and we must say we must have a charging dock for all of our equipment to charge batteries, so we don't end up zero charge. Camila, about and I think you're a wonderful adventurer and a good person for doing these adventures. But you know what, Camila? There's not a lot of women, female gender. There's not a super lot of scuba divers that do these expeditions. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about women moving into these theaters of adventure? You know, you must have your own feelings about, oh, this is a crazy adventure and I'm part of it.
I don't think so, but my friends ask me and they think I'm crazy.
I think you're busy. I think you're busy, but you're not crazy.
Yeah, busy. I am, but it's fun. I like to. I like adventure, and I have always been like this. So
good. Well, we certainly appreciate you guys. You see, the first thing in an adventure, and this is the way Carl works it. The first step is the big step. You can sit at home and say, I would like to go find a Halifax. But if you don't get in your car and if you don't leave to go find a Halifax, you will never find a Halifax. If you talk about it, but you don't go do it, then you are like a majority of people who say, I would like to do that. But you must have the will to want to do it. And so you two guys have goodwill. And
yes,
Carl has goodwill. And you know what I like about is all these Donskis and Svenskis and these Canadians, they're all getting together to do a wonderful expedition. It's a national story. You know what? The most important people in the world are the storytellers that tell the real story. Camilla, if you talked about being a woman in this exciting adventure, you've been on other diving groups and things. Percentage-wise, how much of the serious scuba diver world is ladies, female gender, and why did you go into diving?
I can see that in our community, we are 20% women that will dive. And I started to dive when I was young. I was 15 or 13 maybe the first time, because my father was a diver at the early 70s, and I will join him all the time.
What I wanted to point out to both of you folks who are doing the aerials, on deck, underwater footage and photos is Jim Blondeau and I, we were quite surprised and pleased. This young crew member of the River Thames Association that is a scuba diver named Valdemar. And he came up with tons of good video clips taken underwater. And, you know, here's this young man, I think he's barely 20, maybe even 19. I don't know his exact age, but he's one of the young crew of the tugboat. And he took great video clips. So, Camila, I want you and Valdemar to talk about what could be done. And, you know, he can supplement you. He can add on to everything we've got. And, you know, instead of you being everywhere at once, maybe you guys can, you know, with Peter, Peter, Valdemar can brainstorm on how to maximize the footage underwater. And I remember this beautiful shot, and this is where Valdemar comes in, is when the tugboat was transiting to Port of Trelleborg, you know, a couple or 300 kilometers, Valdemar and Albert went out in the safety boat, the aluminium boat, and they detached from the tugboat. And then they stood in position off to the side. And Valdemar caught this beautiful shot of the tugboat going by the safety boat. You know, the old tugboat, I'm going to do a job. I'm going to do a job. You know, the good old tugboat. And it really was a great shot of we're going to save history. The Halifax is at 15 meters under the water, and that's not a major problem for scuba diving. But you say that after 1 hour, you get a little bit of nitrogen in your system. So when you come up, then tell me, what is the duration of time after you get to the deck of the tugboat before you could go down again?
I don't know the exact minutes, but I think we used to say 1 hour at least. If you go down deeper, you almost need 2 hours.
Folks, these divers, they're doing this with these potential, not hazards, but concerns that must be addressed. So when you see our divers working, and Peter is going to capture them coming and going off the tugboat, remember, they know what they're doing, but this is a major obligation from them to save this history. So we do appreciate this, and there's thousands of people across Canada are following us this summer. Peter, let's touch on aerial shots using drones. When do you think you would like to use aerial shots? Because some of those are stunners, eh? If you take the drone up 15, 20 meters above the tugboat, and then you're shooting down, you can see all the divers, you can see the parts coming out of the water. How would you use aerial shots?
The picture you are telling about there is very beautiful picture, but normally the water can be so dark, so you can see the divers into the water. But it could be a very, very beautiful picture to take. And there's a special time at the middle of the day where the sun is high in the skies, and the sun can go down to the bottom because the bottom is very light there. This is a sand bottom, and it's reflecting lots of light up. So it could be so nice to make that kind of pictures. But normally, a drone have some limits, and that can be the wind. If it blows too much, the drone can be in the air. And also it's difficult to be on the ship because there's a lot of mechanisms, electric things, compass, things like that, radar on the top of the ship. All that electric things are going into the drone. So it can be difficult to start the drone from the ship. So I should have good conditions if I should go from the ship. But it was easier to go in the little dinghy and go away and sit in that one and steer all the air shots. But there is a big wave sometimes. We can do that because everything is getting wet and things like that. So we have limits on that kind of pictures. So that's the weather, the conditions, and everything should go right that way. We could be so lucky to make a picture like that.
Well, this has been a wonderful and informative program. We are the storytellers. We will be sharing it with the world. And Camilla, before we sign off at the end of our program here, okay, I will get a little bit personal and say, do you have a new member of the family coming to your family?
Yes.
So tell us about that. Is it your daughter?
No, it's my son.
Oh, okay. So your son's wife,
yes,
is going to have a baby.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the third baby, so they might need some help.
Okay. So now what is the due date?
The 23rd of June.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I hope it doesn't go too long because we need
No.
to. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. So yeah, we're starting on about the 27th of June. So as long as you don't have emergencies and God willing, everything works smoothly,
Yes.
we will see you there. So thank you very much for coming to this show. And Peter, I just wanted to say thank you for being on the show. And just as a final wrap-up question is, you've seen all of these wonderful groups come together. We've got Dunrobin Castle Entertainment. We've got Peter Norman Photo. We've got SCSC. We got the Nutcase Halifax 57 Rescue. And we have Bomber Command Museum. We're all coming together for this wonderful story. Why is it important to you to be part of this, and how do you feel about it?
My feelings is very well, because I have always liked to tell old stories, and history is an important part of my look at the life, because we should never forget things. And we have easy to do it because we are so busy today. So for mine, it has been a very, very big pleasure to meet you all, because that's what I need, guys like me that tell old stories and can like to do that. So that's a good thing that was coming down in my turban, if we can say so, because it's nice to work together with you, and I'm happy about the good experience everybody are giving and helping his others, and have a good time with that. And for me, it's a good thing that has happened. Yes, it is.
Great. Well, thank you, Peter. Appreciate that input. And so, folks, we're signing off here at the end of our program. And just to ask you to support us, donate. You can find us on the internet. We're going to tell a story. We're going to have a grand adventure. We're going to save history. And so thanks, you guys, for watching. Thanks all of you out there, our audience. And remember, we are Timekeepers Canada, and the specialists on that are airplanehunters.org. So hope to see you again soon. We're gearing up for our grand expedition, and we'll see you soon. Okay, thanks a lot, you guys.